Hajka Hela, each and every one of you for coming together today. It's a great sea of humanity here. I'm really glad to see you all. These aren't my notes, but I just needed it to tweak my memory a little bit. But I really want to pay tribute to some people that are here. Mr. David Suzuki, doctor, you were at my grad in 1970. Thank you. Thank you for still being here. I don't expect you to remember me, but it's okay. But one of the things that was really important for me when I was working and I was involved in council, and I spoke about Douglas Treaty. And I talked about Douglas Treaty fishing and hunting rights. And I was told one time by one of the male leadership, "What are you talking about that for?" I said, "Because I eat fish and meat, and my father's a fisherman, and I have that right. I have now a protected right. And if we ever implement properly the Douglas Treaty, people will know that. And we have that right to fish as formally as well through the legal system." So I think Wasanich, in particular Tsawout, has put a lot on the line to protect our rights and title. And I remember one time you said, the environment doesn't have a chance unless we make a relationship with Indigenous people, because we have a kinship with the environment that's more fundamental than big questions about climate and controlling polar ice and things like that. We are looking for food. Food security, very important. And the way we have continuity and protect the environment and food security is maybe we would like to invest in science, maybe we would like to invest in scholarship, but the first is prayer, honor, celebration. And I pay tribute to one of our teachers here, one of our scholars, our master teachers, Edie. She works with the children to teach them the first salmon ceremony. And some people don't believe in things like that, and that's fine, that's not your system. But people notice when the fish come back after that first salmon ceremony. And it's because she invests in the youth, the children, the future. And that's how we need to see this. It's not all about us here, because some of us are getting a little old, and our work may be at the end, but we're preparing for the future. How do we pass it on so that they will listen to us and learn? And I think that's really important. And I don't want to take up too much time, because there's a whole bunch of speakers here that are probably going to take up more time. But I want to say something that was really precious to me in my education was my late dad, George Underwood. He was a war veteran, World War II, and he was a fisherman. He was prolific. He fished, and for us, fishing is not just fish. Fish is urchin, it's crab, it's clams, it's all the riches, the mussels, everything that comes out of the water. That's what it's all about for us. So the right to fish as formally is looking at that whole system of food security and protecting it. And so when my father, I was going to university, and sometimes my dad believed in university, sometimes he didn't believe in university. I was just kind of wasting my time. But then he would encourage me. And we used to have this big room like this where they had final exams at UVic in first year. And so my dad was going out each morning, and he was getting me what they call a little saltwater trout. And he would crispy fry it for me in the morning before I went to school for my exams. And I think about that quite often, you know. That's a very loving, kind thing to do. But he did it so we would be smart. People that eat fish are smarter. So just in case you had any doubts, it comes from George Underwood, and he knows. And I just always treasure that memory. And I treasure that link with education. And I believe in education. That's why I'm still in school. So I'm working on a PhD about reclaiming education and reclaiming our history and standing up our youth. We need to celebrate our youth and encourage them in the best way possible so that they know they have a future and they know they have a value and that they know they have humanity. So for all of that, I just really thank you for coming together. And the last story I'll leave you with was the story I told my dad. I got married and I moved to this alien country of Pakwachin. And so I said to Dad, I said, I got up this morning and I saw this really kind of romantic sort of ballet thing. And he says, what? And I said, there was these big sea lions. They were upside down in Pakwachin, in Coal Bay. And they had their big flippers and they were flipping them back and forth. And I said, it looked really neat, but they were doing it for a really long time. And my dad says, you're lucky. You got herring over there. And I didn't know. I thought it was just a ballet. But anyway, yeah, that's what he said. And I just really think remembering the tiniest messengers, whether it's a herring, whether it's a little grilt, whether it's a little, starfish or anything, when we remember that, and we remember it has a place, it has a purpose, it has a reason for being there, and it's in that chain. So I really like to see this herring ball, because it's a very important thing. Gives a lot of hope and encouragement to people when we see that. And my dad told me about that. He said, we can't keep overfishing herring even though people are making a lot of money off of it. We can't keep overfishing because it's part of a food chain. They have to remember it's part of that food chain. And so, well, there was 12 of us at the time. We only took what we needed, and I hate to tell you this, but 12 kids needed a lot. But thankfully we had fish, and we had crabs, and we had clams, because we didn't have a lot of money. So I just want to say, Hajka Hela, thank you for listening.